Welcome back to the Real Mark Bagwell, a wrestling docuseries. Co-hosting with me, we're in part 203 of the WrestleMania 39 recap show. We got JP El Curry. JP, welcome back to the Real Mark Bagwell.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks so much for having me again.
Excited for the big matches? Like we covered off the biggest ones, we think, but we still got a lot more matches to go. There were 13 total. Again, we're not counting the Miz matches because they're just comedy little skits, I would say, not real wrestling. In today's recap, we're going to be looking at the Usos, Bianca, Mami, Theory, and Damage Control. I feel really bad for us. The next week, the matches we got to talk about because we got to talk about the Fatal 4-Ways, both of them. So we're not going to go there right now. We still got some big matches that came on. And the first one I want to cover is jumping right into it. We got the Usos versus Zayn and Kevin Owens. And we were on top. Oh, yeah. The four experts looking at our predictions. So, again, we have four experts here. Myself, we had JP, we had Timur the lawyer, and we had David the producer. This was rare. We went a perfect 4-0. This match, the Rhea Ripley match, the Theory match, and the women's Fatal 4-Way, we all got correct. These were apparently so freaking obvious. Let's jump into the comments, shall we? For me, WWE is obsessed with faces now having belts. It's the end of the line for the Usos. Zayn and Owens win. Hope they split up these belts too. JP, do you remember your comments on this one?
Absolutely. So I predicted that night the Bloodline was going to lose a lot of gold and that Sami is going to get a big payout for his time. He did an amazing job carrying that storyline for the last year. So I figured, he's going to get something for being the most interesting character. And then I also predicted that there would be interference from Solo. And then that we'll get the classic, you're out of here from the ref, which would create a humongous pop. And definitely thought that Sami and KO would come in for the win with a haluva kick, transitioning right into a stunner. I thought that would have been a beautiful 1-2 combo.
It was close.
It was, yeah.
But they had to let Sami finish it. That's the way it is. He's got to finish his story because everybody's got stories to finish, apparently. But this is where, they talked with, I believe it was Triple H, and he said, that's not how wrestling works. Every week's a new story. Every week there's a new drama coming up. The stories never end. When one story finishes, one begins. There's never an ending to a story. So get that out of your minds, folks. David, Zayn, and Owens. Timur, Zayn, and KO. This one, I think, was fairly obvious. We just could smell the writing on the wall. They're going to give it to them. There are people that thought that Sami was going to win the belts at Montreal. Not going to happen, folks. Unfortunately, I know it sounds good. I was there. The crowd in Montreal went bananas. Bananas. You couldn't hear yourself. You think that they pipe in the noise? It was real. And when I was acknowledging Roman, I was getting booed like no tomorrow. So that's how it goes. I think this was the finish they had to do. I love the Usos, but you know what? I think that for all the days they've had it, it's enough. I think that Zayn and Owens have earned this. I think it's going to mix up the tag team ranks for a little bit. Again, we need to split up the belts. Leave them with one set of belts for a bit until they turn on each other yet again. And then let's get some more teams like Imperium, perhaps. It should be interesting where it goes.
Absolutely. I'd love to see the tag team division actually have tag teams.
You mean right? As opposed to the women's division, which is this makeshift? There's like one or two tag teams. They're all they threw them together. Like they just took their names out of a bowl. Like there's no real tag teams in the women's division. It's sad.
Call me crazy, but I love teams like the Road Warriors, right? Iconic. The Bushwhackers. You had all these incredible Demolition, right? You had such awesome teams that actually cared for one another. Dudley Boys. Those guys would do anything for one another, right? You had such awesome tag teams. Hardys, Edge and Christian. Such incredible tag teams, and yet even though actually, if you think back to Triple H and NXT, look at the tag teams he put together. Um,
Pretty
what was
deadly.
their name? Pretty deadly. Hey, they did well. They carried the belts. They
All
made them
right.
seem relevant, which is a lot to say compared to the main roster. Like you forget who's the champion, and it's not for lack of effort by the women. They're amazing, but they just the last people to make the women's tag team title feel important, in my opinion, were the Iconics. People were at least talking about it. They
But they were
made it feel
semi-comedy like, like I,
they
I I
were.
I like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I think that that's a great combo. I like the whole
Mhm.
witchcraft and voodoo and stuff, like Papa Shango's girls, whatever. But
Yeah.
they are a real tag team. They gel really well.
Yep.
And in the men's division, Gallus, oh my lord, Gallus is awesome, and they're great on the mics. They got their whole shtick in the bar. They're like the APA all over again. They're
Exactly. Yeah.
they're like the Irish APA, but if they're Irish. But that's where we're at. So the tag team division, we'll see where it goes. We got to get now to the women's belts, and we got the two main belts here. This match I was not looking forward to, but we got to watch it. I get it. I just don't really get it. But we got Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And we finished 2-2 on this one. Okay, we actually split on one of the rare ones. We actually split. We were either 0-4 or 4-0, but we got okay. So what did I write? I don't care for either as a champion. Bianca had a good run. WWE obsessed with Blue Mist Asuka. New champ Asuka. JP. In a perfect world, I would love to see Asuka take a rightful place on top of the women's division. But in reality, Bianca is what's best for business. Great athlete, good mic skills. Asuka's my favorite female wrestler. So skilled and so intense, Bianca will win clean. Here's a little thing. I don't know if you noticed this, Jay, before you jump in here, but did you notice whoever got the better entrance is the one that won?
No,
Think about this. Roman,
that's ooh.
Roman played the piano, right? The Mysterios both had good entrances, fine. You had Bianca walk in with the girls doing their like gymnastics thingy, right?
Yeah.
When you got that little pop, you were going to win. So when they showed her with all the stuff she's doing with, giving back to the community and those girls doing the gymnastics or were they gymnastics? I don't remember. Gymnastics, singing, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They did great, but I had a feeling. So you felt very strongly Bianca was taking this one.
Oh, 100%. As I wrote in there, I felt that she was the BEST choice for champion because, quite frankly, man, she's an awesome face. You can't have, I think both women champions as heels. They've tried that before. I don't think it worked out too well. Um, she's she's so great in the communities, and a lot of young girls look up to her. So I think she's awesome. I think she's a great role model. She's a great she is a great champion to have. But Asuka, she's my number one. I've never seen a more talented female star. Ric Flair agrees, right? Nature Boy gave her lots of love on the Great Muda's Hall of Fame introduction, and she is unbelievable. I just hate to see how they don't let her really shine as bright as she can because she's phenomenal. I think she's so talented.
I don't dispute you in the slightest on Asuka's talent. I'm just sick of the shtick. I'm sick of the mist, and I'm sick of her clothing, and I'm sick of her hair and all this garbage. Because I think it's taking away from her talent. It's just she's becoming like a sideshow freak almost. That's what they're
Yeah.
going for. And I get that gets people's attention, but if you actually made her into a champion, and she handled herself as a champion and had that allure more as far as from that end, I think she would get higher marks from me at least.
They had that, brother, and then they ruined it when Charlotte beat her at her first WrestleMania.
Yes. Yes.
Asuka was a buzzsaw. You know, she was ripping through everybody left and right. She was legitimate. She looked unbeatable. And then they just destroyed her, and she's never really recovered since. In the eyes of writers, but to me, there's nobody better doing it today in the female division.
Well,
Nobody.
I mean, look, when Bianca lost the belt the first time, I thought she was done. Like she lost it what to the man in like 5 seconds
Yeah.
or something. Uh, I hate when they kill people like that. And, remember Kofi Kingston? And guess what?
Super
Kofi
unfortunate.
Mania was running wild for about 3 seconds, and I'm telling you, the face champions don't work anymore. And that's where, it works for a while, but people get really sick. I'm getting really sick of Bianca as the face. Have her turn on somebody and heal Bianca all day long. I think she would make a great heel in the future. And I think that Montez should turn heel as well. And both of
Yeah.
them should be a heel couple. That would be a lot of fun.
And you can have a nice feud like with Seth Rollins and the man, right? Becky Lynch. That would be a really excellent feud to see because they're both teams are super talented, right? So there's many options that can open up that way. But I really do like Bianca. I disagree because I really do like Bianca
Mhm.
as a face because my little girls, they love to watch WWE with me. I like to take them to WWE house shows and things like that.
As every
And
good father does.
yeah, thanks, man. So I love taking them to shows. I love them seeing, what you can do. You don't, it's not just for boys. It's not where the big boys play, right? It's everywhere, right? So, anyone can achieve their dreams, whether you're 5'3" or you're 7'3", right? That's what the beauty of WWE. And I love having Bianca as someone that they could look to and be like, wow, she can like power lift somebody and just like toss them. That's cool, right? And I can't see her because if she was a heel, I know for my girls they would be turned off right away. They're still, my oldest still has a grudge with Bayley for turning heel. So she's never quite recovered from that, because Bayley was this bright, cheerful superstar, and then she like destroyed her Wiggly guys, and she hasn't been the same since. And I think
Hold on. Bayley, when she turned heel, got those belts for a while. Becky
she
those
did.
belts, and Bayley those belts, and she did really, really well with them. I I challenge you that if she had stayed a face, I don't think she wins those belts, and I think she turns into 24/7 champion jobber at that point. At least she's got a
I
faction she's heading up.
I agree. I agree with you. It wouldn't have lasted long. Toronto destroyed her as a face. I don't know if you recall that episode. That was so hard to watch, man, because I really liked Bailey,
I do too. She's
and
so
and
talented. She's
she's
amazing.
extremely talented, and
Yes.
she's passionate, and she cares about it,
She's the
right? And I love
best.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I saw Toronto eating her up live, I'm like, you guys are awful, awful people. But
We
it's
don't
what the
like
fans want.
faces. We don't like
Yeah,
faces.
we're not a face team
Nope.
here. We're all about the heels in Toronto.
Well, that's where we go into our next match. If Toronto's predicting the next one, everybody's voting Rhea Ripley, and the experts agreed. Just to throw in, by the way, on the last match, David said that Asuka's going to win with the mist, and Timur said Belair wins, turns heel. So we were right, wrong, but there was rumblings about Belair turning heel, and he said it was going to happen on Raw after Mania. It did not. Rhea Ripley, though, we all saw that one 10,000 miles away. Lo and behold, Charlotte after Raw has said, "Oh, I'm going to be taking a break from wrestling for a while." What does she think she is, Goldberg? Like, she comes in, gets a belt, and takes off for a while. It's wearing very thin on me. Charlotte's
Yeah.
days are almost done. Rhea Ripley, I don't have to talk about the comments. It was very obvious. 4-0, that's it. Rhea Ripley was winning it. She's been the most dominant woman this year. She has obliterated everybody in sight. She's awesome. She looks awesome. She wrestles awesome. She earned it, and good for her. And congratulations, Rhea Ripley, your new SmackDown Women's Champion.
Absolutely. And you know what? She's a modern China, man. I think she's got those things of China. She's a powerhouse. She's got a big fan base. She rocks the black leather. I think that's what she is today. I think she can take on any athlete. So
The only difference, in my opinion, she's more attractive than China as far as from a femininity standpoint, even though she makes herself more gothic, but she's quite attractive, obviously. And Rhea Ripley can talk on the mic. I would tell you, she's the full package, and she's your WWE superstar for years to come. Like, she really earned it. She puts the time into the gym, and good for her. And she's with Buddy Murphy in real life, and Dom has
yeah,
his fiance. But you never know how things can cross happen. Maybe her and Dom one day find their way together. That'd be a good storyline. Just saying. Austin Theory versus John Cena. So we also all knew this one. This was 4-0. Very, very easy. I got to start off by saying John Cena, I don't think was in the Arctic or in Siberia. Does he not have access to a beach or something? Like, he looked pasty out there real bad.
Yeah, man. He sure did. But you know what? He's still in tremendous shape given how busy his schedule is. You know, he's swapped over into doing TV and everything. You know, it's hard to keep up, but he didn't look like he missed a step. You know, where other athletes where they've taken a break and they come back and you see that ring rust. It didn't look evident in Cena.
When I see John Cena come out to the ring now, I feel like I'm in high school and my dad's coming out and he's wrestling against my friends. That's how it feels like. Because that haircut and that horrible dye job with the pastiness, it looked like someone's dad. Like, hey, dad, you can still got this, you know?
Ernest goes to WrestleMania.
Sorry, Johnny boy. I love John Cena. I love that you can't see me.
Yeah.
But to me, okay, we're gonna rewind back. I'm a basic thugonomics guy. To me, John Cena is basic thugonomics. They will never play it again for whatever reason. I get the whole you can't see me, but I was more of the doctor of thugonomics. That's when John Cena was for me after he switched over and he became about respect, control. What is this?
Yeah. Respect,
hustle,
loyalty,
train,
respect,
pray, train, say, and eat your vitamins, whatever. The Hulk Hogan. That feels like he's Hulk Hogan 2.0. But you had no doubt on this one. Like, this was going to be Theory. There's no passing it. Cena cannot walk out of there with the belt. He's not wrestling very much. Theory's got to take him down. I thought that Theory was going to beat him cleanly. At least they had to do the low blow. So Theory kind of won cheaply, but whatever. He beat Cena. I'm good with it.
Yep, I totally agree on that. But I loved Cena's entrance, though. I thought that was really, really cool of him to bring up the Make-A-Wish kids. Incredible. Like,
yes,
him as a person, amazing. Simply amazing, man. Great guy. He's done something incredible, and he's a guy that gives back. So kudos to him. And but I had no doubt, 100%, it was Theory, the battle of Vince's boys, and one's the past and one's the future, and Theory was going to run with it.
Now.
Yeah, the now, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. If I was getting 10 million per movie, I'd be a pretty nice guy too.
Yeah,
just say. Last match for this chapter, because we don't have to, especially when they're easy ones. And then next week, I'm sorry, folks, but we got to go through them. They're a little painful, but we got to look at the predictions. We down to now the triple women's match. We got Damage Control versus Mae Young, the Great Moolah. Sorry, Lita, Trish, and Becky Lynch. We went 3-1 in this one. The only person who put their money on Damage Control was me. My sources all told me the same thing. Trish is turning on Lita. Damage Control is going to win. And we're going to set up a feud between Trish and Lita because somebody apparently wants to watch that. It ain't me. But no, the bases won. Yada, yada, yada. So here was our predictions. You ready for this one?
Yep.
Okay, Jonathan. No idea why we did this match. How are the belts not being defended? Damage Control since Trish turns on Lita. I was very, very wrong on this one. They are burying Damage Control deep down to the NXT hole where they're going to be the New Day and go back there like, oh, Lord. I'm so sorry, girls, because, Io Sky deserves way better than this. She's the 100%. Genius of the Sky. I love Io Sky, and she should not be subjected to this, nor should Bayley. JP, where did you see this one going?
I saw this one going with the current champions, Big Time Bex and Lita, and Trish Stratus coming away with the win. I kind of forecasted it to end in a way where it was Bayley in the middle of the ring with Trish on a sharpshooter on her and the disarm her at the same time being applied by Becky Lynch. So that's the way that I envisioned it, with Lita doing a moonsault to take out the other two. So I was super close.
You
Lita
were
did
close.
do the moonsault to take out the other two.
Yep.
Trish was in the middle doing her, we own this town one, and instead of a submission, there's actually a pinfall.
And David also thought that Trish may be turning on them to set up a SummerSlam match. JP, why were the tag team championships not defended on this program? Why were we subjected to a 6-woman tag match?
I think it goes back to what we've talked about earlier. I just don't think they've been building proper teams, and it's really unfortunate because they got a great amount of talent. They're just not pursuing teams, and they can have really excellent tag teams, but I think because it's so restrictive, from what I understand in the WWE, where you have to follow, this is what you're assigned, this is who you are, that even if you do have chemistry with somebody, you're not able to bring that forward to the screen. And I think it's a real shame, because we're missing some excellent wrestlers, and they're not getting younger by the day, right? So I hope this is something that does change out of it.
Look, at least I get to go on AEW. I get to watch Orange Cassidy, I get to watch some of my boys over there. It's okay, and I think to myself, MJF is the champ with Triple B. I'm like, Lord, if these guys were in WWE, they'd be squashed in a second. No doubt about it. Staying at AEW, boys.
I could totally see that, because MJF, he's such a he's a guy that needs to be unfiltered, right? And if you put a muzzle on him, you're not gonna get the same results out of him. He needs to be a bit of a loose cannon and have that flexibility. And I hope he does stay with AEW. I'd love to see him in WWE, but I hope he does stay in AEW. He's been a super entertaining champ.
And in future episodes, we are going to get into some AEW stuff and NXT stuff. And there's a lot of, because people aren't talking about them enough, and there are some good superstars. But man, there's some people that are on there that should not be there. If I have to see John Moxley bleed one more time, I'm going to turn off my TV. But we won't go there. And what is the point of a Blackpool Combat Club when the Blackpool guy left and everybody's American in there? But let's not even go there right now. Let's not even worry about that. This has been a great episode. We covered off some great matches from WrestleMania 39. JP, thank you for your insights. Fans, send your comments in. Do not hold back. Let's hear what you have to say. How did you think WrestleMania 39 went? What are your comments? How do you think that, do you think the right results happen? And stay tuned for next week. We're getting into the most painful matches of WrestleMania 39 that we got subjected to. And we'll talk about them next week. JP, always a pleasure.
Thank you. You too.